What's up, y'all? Happy Friday. I'm about to play you a clip that's Dylan giving testimony before Austin City Council last night. Right after that, you'll see my testimony, and it's edited, so we didn't go back to back. There was a huge chunk of time in between, and dude was super patient, but this was a super proud parent moment. But I'm going to play my testimony after, and then after that, I'm going to come back and I'm going to give some context around my testimony and what it is that I'm talking about, because this is a super duper important time for our city here. So check this out.
Hi, my name is Dylan. I am resident of District 5 and I am 9 years old. I live in Austin and I care for people of the city. My parents run a homeless nonprofit, so I've grown up getting to meet a lot of people who live in our shelter. I've met a lot of really kind and interesting people who just need a little help right now. When I see people sleeping outside, it seems really unfair, and I would like your help to fix it. I think everybody should have a safe place to live. What is the point of a city if only some people can have a home? I learned that you guys are going to vote to ask people to raise more money to help. I think that's a good idea. Austin is filled with really cool people who just want to help. Some of them probably don't know how. We need to make sure that food, shelters, and jobs are given to people who need it. I might be a little new to politics, but I know that we're supposed to take care of each other. Please vote thoughtfully so we can help everyone in Austin have a chance. I hope this reminds you that everybody, even kids, want to help. Thank you.
Thank you. Nicely done. Dylan, for the record, is your last name Baker?
Yes.
I thought so. Good job.
Hey, Chris Baker. I'm a recently unemployed resident of District 5, representing the Homeless Service Providers Consortium, and I'm here to say that there is a tragedy playing out every day in Austin. Last year, 168 people died on the streets of our city, and we all recognize a tragedy when it happens all at once. 135 people die in a flood, and we all recognize that to be the human tragedy that it is, but homelessness has been stacking up a bigger body count than that every year for the last 25 years. Unsheltered homelessness is a prolific serial killer. And because of that, I want to give a big shout out to all the heroic warriors in our homeless response system, because it is a really, really hard job. You go in every day, you face the horrific realities of homelessness. There's a never-ending battle for funding. Somebody is always mad at you, and there's so much need that no matter how much of yourself you give, it never feels like enough, and the fight can leave you feeling beaten and broken and hopeless. But in April of this year, David Gray and the Homeless Strategy Office presented a bold, data-driven plan to the Health and Finance Committees of this council that was like a rose growing through concrete. Tupac. It brought some desperately needed hope to this fight. I feel hopeful for the first time in a long time. We named our shelter Esperanza because Esperanza means hope, and while I have hope, I finally have hope. I have neither the intellect nor the audacity to recommend how much you ask the voters to dig in. I only ask that you keep hope alive by including Director Gray's plan in its entirety in whatever budget you do pass, and that you follow that plan with fidelity, with discipline, and with focus. Whatever it takes, nothing more, nothing less. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I mean, incredible. The boy got the super rare follow-up question from the boss. It was an amazing moment. Now, my testimony was kind of like standard Chris Baker City Hall testimony fare, but why is this important right now? So what's happening at the city of Austin right now is that there are these major budget shortfalls, and homelessness has become the issue that is basically completely unfunded under the current sort of austerity budget that the city is thinking about passing. And so in order to get all the critical services and programs that we need, we're going to have to do a tax rate election. And so that's going to be coming in November. You have to get out and you have to vote in favor of the tax rate election. And I know that all of you will, but the big question right now is whether everybody will. And when I talked about this plan that the Homeless Strategy Office presented back in April, it's this really robust homeless response system plan that is unlike anything that we've ever had in our community before. Our homeless strategy officer, David Gray, had traveled all over the world figuring out what was working in other cities, what wasn't working, what was working here in our city, and what wasn't working. And on the other side of it came this plan. And I firmly believe that this plan is going to be the thing that ends homelessness in our community. I know I'm not supposed to say ends homelessness, but make homelessness rare, brief, and non-recurring. This is how we get there, is through this plan. And so we are advocating that everything in that plan be included in the budget. Now, the current budget as it sits, it's not going to happen. But what they're going to do is they're going to write a whole nother budget that includes revenue that would come in if a tax rate election is successful. So the tax rate election is mandated by the state, and it can raise between what they're considering is from 1 cent to 8 cents. And that's 1 cent per $100 of property value. And there are some people on city council who are saying we should do a tax rate election of 7 cents. That's 7 cents per every $100 of property value. There are some saying that we should do none. And there are some saying like maybe we should do 3 or 4 cents. And here's the deal. We have to do something. And it's my position that we should do the tax rate election that we need in order to make this plan work. They put out some scenarios for what the budget would look like. When I say they, I mean the city manager's office put out a bunch of different scenarios for what the budget would look like given a 1 cent, 2 cent, 3 cent, 4 cent, 5 cent, 6 cent, 7 cent, 8 cent tax rate election. And the way that it's set up right now is that at 5 cents, all of the money that's needed for the homeless response plan is funded at 5 cents. The problem with where it's at is that although all the money is there, it's kind of broken down into line items, and the line items in that scenario are not actually identical to what the Homeless Strategy Office put like a gazillion hours of work and research into. So when I say discipline and fidelity and focus, what I mean is like there are going to be a lot of people who are going to want to come and say like, hey, we've got some other answer to homelessness, or there's this other thing, these shiny objects all around for council members to go and chase after, and like just don't follow those bunny trails. Just don't do it. It's if it's not part of the plan, then let's not even be talking about it. Certainly, we should not be like designing program and service delivery from the dais. If there are tweaks that need to be made to the plan, like let the Homeless Strategy Office do that. But first, let's get this budget passed. Let's win the TRE, and then let's get this thing funded. Something else to think about is that there are all the amendments that they're making to the baseline fiscal 26 austerity budget that we have now. Like, people can still make amendments to that budget. And I am not saying that we do no amendments to the budget. I think that the budget does probably need some amendments. As concerns homelessness, we need to make sure that those amendments are critically necessary and are in line with the plan that the Homeless Strategy Office put together. And we especially need to be adding things and possibly taking things away from the base budget as it currently sits in order to like protect the most critical programs that we have now that are going to be at risk of closure if the TRE doesn't pass, or if the time difference that it's going to take to like get RFPs out and get contracts written up will cause so much disruption to programs and services that they'll close. So follow the plan with the TRE budget. If there are amendments that need to be made to the current base budget as it sits, make sure that those amendments are in line with what the plan says and prioritize things that are at the highest risk of closure, or that will have the most difficulty in winding down and then winding back up again. So anyway, this is all has to be framed as like, the best way for us to kind of like fight Trumpism locally. They're slashing budgets left and right. There was a bunch of money that came in through the American Rescue Plan that's now going away. Any money that was earmarked for programs and services here in Austin through the CPF fund, that money is no longer available. And so like we are really seriously in trouble. And, you might say that there's like a spending problem at the city of Austin and whatever. And that is not for me to say. My view of the city budget is that we need pretty much everything that's in there. I do wish that homelessness weren't the thing that is being considered only for the leftovers. You know what I mean? Like we could have, mostly funded homeless response and, seen reduction in spending across all city departments, and still have like a pretty strong homeless response system going into this next year. And that would just be even further strengthened by a TRE. But like where we are now is that like our whole system is depending on it. I know nobody likes to pay more taxes. I know that sucks. So, as a person who pays taxes and owns a home in Austin, I do want to see like the smallest number possible for this tax rate election. But whatever the number is, it has to fully fund the plan. And if we don't do it, I mean, you're going to see people pouring back out onto the streets by the hundreds and then thousands. And, it might not happen right away. Same as like all of the solutions are not going to come right away. This might take a year or 18 months to materialize. But whichever way we go, we're either going to live with the consequences or we're going to be delighted with the change that we see. So get out there. November's coming. Make sure you vote in favor of the tax rate election, no matter what it is. If you have an opinion about how much the tax rate election should be for, there are several more opportunities to go down to city council and talk to our elected leaders. And you can find all that stuff on the City of Austin's website. In the meantime, proud parent moment done. Have a good weekend.